Hey guys, just a couple of things real quick before we start this week's video. Just want to let you know a couple of things. First of all, this is a special video because it's my birthday weekend, so we're celebrating pretty strong. And if you want to help me celebrate, maybe you can go check out my Patreon page over here and maybe help keep this channel going. Also, a couple other quick announcements. I've been on a weekly schedule recently. It's a timeline every 2 weeks with another video in between, usually failure to launch or reheater turkeys coming. So you've got me weekly. And if you were wondering about me or what to call me, because a lot of you guys call me Movie Timelines Guy, my name is Josh. So if you ever wonder what to call me, you can call me Josh. And this is Stella, you know her. Hey, say hello. Also let you know I am working like a crazy person to make these videos for you guys. I have things already. I'm working on videos for June and July right now, so we're plotted out, and I have a schedule that goes all the way up until the ending of the year, so there's a lot of great stuff coming. So I hope that you stick around and check it all out, and please help keep the channel going by sharing it on other social media and letting people know about the channel to help keep it going. And hey, that's about it. Hope you enjoy Tales from the Darkside. On this episode of Failure to Launch, we're going to talk about Tales from the Darkside, the movie, and we're going to try and find out why it did not become a series of movies and franchise of anthologies. I promised I would talk about this back when I made my Creepshow video, and I always keep my promises, so here it is. We're going to try and find out why we didn't see more of these. Tales from the Darkside was a TV series that ran for 4 seasons from 1984 to 1988. After its cancellation, we got a feature film version in 1990 with the aptly titled Tales from the Darkside, the movie. We kick off with Blondie herself, who's got a kid locked in a cage, prepping to cook him for dinner. To distract her, he tells her a story about JD and his classmate Nucky. Bellingham here bought a mummy, and holy crap, Amber Waves is in this too, so a lot of star power. Mr. Pink reanimates the mummy to get revenge on those who wronged him, starting with Lee here, who gets his brain pulled out through his nose. Next up, Julianne Moore has been nominated for 4 Oscars and won one of them, so now watch her get flowers jammed in her spine. Clarence figures it out though and faces off against Bellingham and the mummy, taking it out with relative ease. He destroys all evidence, but lets him live, and Edward gets his revenge, although I like to think that Andy would just pump up the volume and still come out on top. In our next segment, we get the Ghost of Christmas Past and the OG Toulon, who hires Mr. Hot 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 to kill his cat. Mr. Rabinowitz is here, and apparently the cat has killed everyone else in the house. Buster Poindexter has a little trouble, though, and it eventually jumps down his throat and into his chest. That's a bad kitty. The cat gets the last laugh, bursting forth and giving old Hickey a heart attack. Our final story starts out 10 years ago, and we meet Dexter's dad, and Robert Klein shows up, and Preston witnesses a man get killed by a massive gargoyle. It spares him as long as he never tells anyone, and a few minutes later he meets Tommy Chong's daughter, and they instantly fall in love. Carola is pregnant, and we jump ahead 10 years, although everyone literally looks exactly the same. But James and Carola have 2 kids now, and he finally breaks down and tells her the truth about what happened that night. Well, turns out Carola is actually the gargoyle and transforms right in front of him, and the kids change too, and she kills him and becomes stone. We finally end up back in the wraparound segment, and little Timmy gets the upper hand on Miss Harry and tosses her into the oven, and then of course eats chocolate chip cookies. There's no date in any of these episodes, so we're just going to go ahead and assume that they all take place in 1990. So there's a lot to unpack here. You see, Tales from the Darkside, the TV series, originally began as a TV version of the Creepshow movies. The name and visual stylings of the films were changed to eliminate the comic book aspect, but still maintained a lot of the elements, like stories based on Stephen King works. The TV show was pretty successful, lasting for 4 seasons, eventually leading to this film, which a lot of people consider to be Creepshow 3. And it could certainly be seen that way, although all that they really share in common is their anthology format. The film was a decent performer, bringing in $16 million against a $3 million budget, although no sequel ever came. Shortly after the film came out, the sequel was announced, and it got to the screenplay stage with several sections based on Stephen King stories again, and another one from Robert Bloch. It never got past this stage, however, and the franchise wraps up after this first entry. You could view the TV show as having a sort of sequel in the syndicated TV show Monsters, which ran for 3 seasons from 88 to 91, although it's kind of its own thing and it's also pretty enjoyable. Tales from the Darkside tended to focus on more supernatural, paranormal elements, whereas Monsters pretty much focused on, as the title suggests, monsters. So there you have it, it's one movie, it's just Tales from the Darkside, the movie. I would have loved to have seen more on this. There doesn't really seem to be much of a reason why it never got a sequel off the ground, more so than it just never happened. The movie made money. People did want to have it happen, but just never really got to that point. Would have loved to have seen more. Let me know if you wanted to see more. Let me know what you would have liked to have seen from another Tales from the Darkside movie. And let me know if you want to see this series revived, if you would think the Tales from the Darkside could exist today, maybe on Shudder or something along those lines, like they're doing the Creepshow series. Who knows, maybe with the Creepshow series we don't need a Tales from the Darkside series, but I don't know. Tell me what you think. Let me know. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Check out the Patreon page over here as well too. I hope you enjoyed this failure to launch, and we'll see you in another couple weeks with another great video. Thanks, guys.